So we're back working on Louis here, and so I've decided to pull this engine. So we're going to take everything out, including the engine, probably the trans, because we don't really want to lift up all of the weight of the car. But we're going to pick up the engine. It's really windy, so sorry for the noise. So we just need to take out the fan shroud, the radiator, and the AC condenser, and then coolant hoses, electrical, and we should be pretty good to pull out. I mean, there's not much to these older engines. So let's start taking it apart. So helping us today, we got Connor, and over there we have Matthew. He's not a big help, but we're just gonna start disconnecting wires, pulling stuff out of the way, getting the radiator out, disconnecting the transmission and such. So we're gonna get her done.
We'll see.
Alright, so as you saw, we got radiator and AC condenser out. We got the fan, the power steering pump, we got the exhaust disconnected. We pulled all of the bolts out of the torque converter, all the bolts out of the bell housing. Really, all there should be left is a few little vacuum lines and stuff, and the engine mounts. So tomorrow I'm gonna have an engine hoist here, and we're just gonna pick her on out, and hopefully be done. Alright, so I'm back out here on Louis. We got quite a bit of snow last night, but thankfully I threw a tarp over him, so I really just got snow up here. But besides that, I'm clear. And I pulled out the AC system, so this is the evaporator, which cools. So basically you have low pressure, well, you have high pressure come in, but it cools down and it's cold, so then the air passes through the fins, and you can't really see through them because there's a rodent in there and they're all clogged up. But it passes through the fins, it gets cooled down, and the AC goes back from here to the compressor. And I just got the box, the HVAC box out, just to give us more room and to get that out. And so I think I got everything disconnected from the engine. I just need to pull the engine mounts, but for the engine mounts I need to have a hoist so it doesn't fall and damage anything. So I got Connor and one of his teachers coming with an engine hoist, one of his auto shop teachers, so we can yank this thing out of here and we can get it done. So it's the next day. Yesterday ended poorly. So I was figuring out, so to pull the engine forward to make the flywheel, because the flywheel is behind the engine, it's right about there in the transmission, so I can't just go straight up. But to make it so I can pull the engine forward, I have to take the drive shaft out, which is down there, because this is a front wheel drive car for some reason, because they know, they thought that was a good idea. So I either have to pull the engine and transmission or take that drive shaft out, and I haven't been able to get that drive shaft out, so it's not looking good. Hopefully I can get that drive shaft out, but if not, I'll just pull everything, which means more work. But all is fair in the game of cutting things off with sawzalls. Okay, so problem we're having is that right there's a drive shaft that goes to the front wheel, but the drive shaft's being hit by the oil pan. So I'm going to pull the drive shaft out of the diff. God, this is tight down here. I'm going to pull the drive shaft out of the diff so that we can actually pull the engine forward.
Are you doing it correct?
Okay, so that drive shaft thing is out. So hopefully I'll be able to get the engine out now. Though, don't mind they wanted me to do that. And also it's a little bent. Well, I mean, I borrowed it from a school. What's it gonna be? Perfect? No. So now I just need to hopefully unbolt the bell housing, and she should come right out. Okay, so everything's unbolted. Let's just yank her out. Come on. Nope. And we're free. I'm gonna bring it down. Yep. Well, there you have it. A Cadillac 500 big block out of the 75 Eldorado. Sorry for the wind, but I mean, now that this is done, I think I'll end this video here. Next video we'll be tearing into this and seeing if it's a good engine for us to build, which basically means I'm going to look at all the bearings and such and see if they're healthy, and if not, I'll do a rebuild on it. I'll bore it over, make sure everything's good. But I mean, this poor engine stand, I don't know if you can see that, but it's heavy. It's not light. It's bending it a little, but we'll help it by, because this is all cast iron. This is all just super heavy. No, we'll get it apart next time and see if we can build her and make hopefully, I'm hoping for at least 500 horsepower out of this. One horsepower per cubic inch, if not more. I would really like to have a good streetable big block with a lot of horsepower. So hopefully this engine's good. It ran great, so I hope that it will be able to be built and we'll put some performance goodies in it. And I'll see you guys next time.